welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register. Every week, we bring you news and information you can use on your real estate transactions. And if you've got a question about a real estate question, give us a call over here at the studio, 844-788-9444, and we'll be happy to answer your real estate questions right here on the air every week, 844-788-9444. This segment, we are going to talk about USDA loans. And USDA loans, I think personally, I think they're underused. I think there are a lot of areas out in the suburbs of Houston where people could be using USDA loans, and they're not taking advantage of them as much as they could be. And one of the best things about a USDA loan is that it's zero down, very similar to a VA loan in that you don't have to put anything down. So it can be a really, really great loan if you meet the qualifications for it. So that's what we're talking about today. I've got Mary Papageorge here, and Mary is with AMCAP Mortgage. You can find Mary over on our HoustonRealEstateRadio.com website and go straight on into her website from her ad where she can get you qualified for a home if you're looking to purchase a home this spring. Mary, let's talk a little bit about USDA. Do you feel like this is a loan product that people don't use as much as they should?
Yes, I do. I think they just don't know enough about it, or that it even exists.
Yeah, because people are used to conventional FHA, and of course, some people still pay cash, and then some people use VA loans. And I just don't hear many people even ask about USDA loans.
Well, it's very specific. You have to be out in a rural type area. Doesn't mean it's in the boonies, though. So
yeah, because there's some parts of Spring that are considered, right. USDA. Certainly, Tomball, Conroe. There are a lot of areas where you would think it's. I mean, it seems very much suburbia, but yet you could use a USDA loan.
Exactly.
I think of cow pastures when I think of a USDA loan, but that's not what it is.
Not at all. Not at all. And it's 100% financing, so you don't have a down payment, which is nice. There is. You can get up to 4%. In seller contributions. So say, for example, you need some help with your closing costs, then the seller can actually help you out with 4% of the sales price.
Okay.
We do need a minimum, usually a 640 credit score, but they can do a manual underwrite, which means that somebody has to touch that loan, and it gets a little bit more sticky about the requirements and the qualifications. But they can go a little bit lower, I believe, down to a 620, if I'm not mistaken, to qualify for a USDA. And there are some income restrictions, but it is per county. So it's something that we actually have to look up. It's based on the amount of people in the household and the people that are actually earning income. Then we have to count all of that to factor whether they would qualify.
So who do you feel like is the perfect candidate for a USDA loan? Obviously, the house or the land that they're purchasing has to qualify. But as far as a person, would you say this is a great loan for a first-time home buyer or a moving up family into the suburbs? Who's the great candidate for this loan?
It could be either one. The thing about USDA, though, is you can't own a home, so you can't lease one out and then turn around and buy a house using USDA.
So it sounds like it really is a good product for first-time home buyers.
Yes, unless they're going to move up and then they sell their home, they can do that.
Okay.
So it's a great program because you can get in for so little. You're still going to have closing costs. You're still going to have prepaids, which are your taxes and insurance going into the escrow. If the person who is the borrower is married, we do have to include the non-purchasing spouse's debt.
Okay.
So that is a factor. Anytime we do a government loan, we always have to include the non-purchasing spouse's debt.
Okay.
Has to be counted in the debt-to-income ratio, whether they're on the loan or not. If their credit if their credit does not qualify, that doesn't mean they can't get the loan. It just means that we have to make sure that the borrower who will be doing the financing is the one who can qualify with the non-purchasing spouse's debt. Does that make sense? What
does USDA stand for? It sounds like a stamp you'd put on a piece of meat or a package of eggs. What is USDA?
As a lot of my customers like to refer to it as the meat loan.
The meat loan. I like that.
It's urban. You know what? I'm not even sure. It's something to do with urban, I'm not going to lie.
It doesn't even matter, huh?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's just...
You caught me on that one.
I tell you, I don't think I've ever had anybody do a USDA loan.
I've done them many times, but it is a two-step approval process. So we have to get our loan practically cleared to close with AMCAP Mortgage. Once we have pretty much all of our conditions, we're ready to clear it. Then the loan gets sent over to USDA, and USDA has to go back all the way through the process again, and they underwrite the file as well. Why we can't just send it there to begin with is beyond me. It'd be a whole lot simpler, but I guess they don't want to waste the time on people who can't qualify. So once they have done their due diligence, they've underwritten the file, they've approved it, then the file comes back to us. And then usually I recommend giving us at least 10 days because we're not completed with our loan until we get back the approval from them. Then there's a few more moving parts that we have to deal with. Once that's accomplished, then we get our clear to close. And again, we're looking at still 4 to 5 days prior to that close date for our TRID requirements.
And on a USDA loan, you can put zero down. So you can literally buy the house with nothing down. But it still has to appraise for the full value sales price, right?
That's correct.
And are USDA appraisers the same as the FHA appraisers, the VA inspectors, all the other appraisers?
Yeah,
are
pretty
they
much.
kind of their own breed?
No, most of the appraisers that I'm aware of are qualified to do USDA. It just means they have to drive a lot further, and sometimes it can put up the cost a little bit.
But you don't necessarily have to have a bunch of acreage
That's
to
true.
get one of these loans.
You don't.
On a house.
It could be a house on a lot as long as it qualifies. We actually go to a website and we plug in the address, and it's either is or is not eligible. It's very simple.
And they just updated it recently, right?
They did.
And there are some places where, there are literally neighborhoods that fall into USDA categories.
That's correct.
So you could be buying a house in a neighborhood thinking you're going to use an FHA loan and flip over into a USDA loan and have zero down, which is a huge thing for first-time home buyers. Absolutely. Because usually when you think of a first-time home buyer who puts zero down, they're using their VA loan. Well, a lot of people don't have access to a VA loan. So this is a great resource that's out there that I just feel like is being underused.
There is a little bit difference between the two where VA doesn't have any mortgage insurance, but USDA does. USDA charges what they call a 2% funding fee, which is basically rolled into the loan, as well as I believe it's 0.40 or 0.50 because they've had some recent changes on the mortgage insurance for a monthly basis.
And are you limited on a dual income family? Are you limited on how much money you make as to whether you can qualify for this or not?
You are limited. It depends on the amount of people in the household, though. So if they have two working parents, but they have 3 children, that's 5 people in the household. The income requirements are not nearly as restrictive as some of the grant programs that I've done.
All right, very good. And I know you work on a lot of grant programs. You really have the tools and resources to help first-time home buyers get in a house, because it's getting trickier and trickier to get first-time home buyers into a house.
Yes, it is.
It's getting hard. The gap is just growing between affordability and the price of homes.
Yes.
And I really like that you try to get people into whatever's going to work for them, whether it's FHA, conventional loan, USDA loan, VA loan, or put them with some kind of program that's going to give them some down payment assistance. So I like that you do that. I've had people call into the show and they said, I just don't have the income, and so I've been paying rent for years. And I love that they can call you, and a lot of times you can find a solution, and if not, you can help put them on the right track to be able to find a solution at some point in the near future.
I never say no. I just say, not right now. But we'll find a way.
Mary Papageorge over at AMCAP Mortgage. Give us your website in case someone wants to go on there and try to get qualified for a loan.
It is TexasMortgagePros.com. All
right, Mary Papageorge with AMCAP Mortgage. If you've got a question for Mary, you can always call into the show at 844-788-9444. We love answering your questions right here on the air every Sunday between 11 and noon. And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors here on Houston Real Estate Radio. If you missed any of today's show, you can catch us online at HoustonRealEstateRadio.com.
Imagine you and your family return from a tropical vacation to find that one of your pipes burst, flooding your entire house. Are you fully covered? Will you only receive $100 for your TV that cost you $2,000 just 2 years ago? Will your insurance company pay for you to live in a hotel while your home is being repaired? What if on that same trip you lose your wedding ring? Will your home insurance coverage replace that as well? All insurance policies are not created equal. If you don't know the answer to these questions, you're not alone. Most people don't understand the gaps in their coverage until it's too late. Call Goosehead Insurance today and let one of our agents review your current policy to ensure that you are fully covered. At Goosehead Insurance, we understand the power of choice. Instead of working for a single insurance company, our agents have access to over 20 A-rated carriers. This allows us to craft a policy to fit your particular lifestyle, budget, and needs. It also enables us to reshop your policy in the future if necessary, saving you time and money. No need to look for another agent. At Goosehead, we've got you covered. Our agents will walk you through each policy decision so that you have the coverage you need. If that's not reason enough, talk to one of our happy clients. Our client satisfaction scores are 3 times the industry average. To experience the Goosehead Insurance difference, visit us online at goosehead.com or call us at 800-474-1377.